Alright, we're at book 49, Vampire Breath. This is one of the worst ones. This is actually one I didn't want to talk about because I just didn't have a lot to say about it. I'll try to think of something of note I can say about it. Well, the basic premise is these two kids are in the basement and they're playing like air hockey or something. And they accidentally knock over this vase and it opens like a secret door to like a secret room. Inside the room is a coffin. Vampire's in the coffin. Vampire wakes up. And he's after these kids and he's chasing them around the house, and they actually transport them through time into a castle. And the vampire actually doesn't have teeth. Pretty shitty vampire. He's looking for like his fanged dentures so he can suck the blood. And it's really fucking stupid. This is one of those I kind of just, as I said with the previous one, when I was talking about the Lost Legend, it kind of just feels like Stein was just grasping for straws plot-wise and kind of just pulled this half-baked story out of his ass and wrote. You know, I really rag on Stein, but I actually really like him. Anyone who's keeping up with these videos will probably think I don't, but I genuinely do. Like, I like his stuff. Do I always like it unironically? Not exactly, but I enjoy his writing. And honestly, the thing I hate about these Goosebumps books like this is he can do better. Like, he has done better. I mean, the Goosebumps isn't like masterworks of literature or anything, but at their best, they can be quite fun. They can be quite entertaining. It's obvious to see why they got a whole generation of kids to read, me included. Stein at his best writes very entertaining stories, even if they're kind of goofy or wacky. He writes very relatable or interesting characters. Now, his kids can definitely, some of his kids' characters are kind of just one note, and they kind of just make lame jokes all the time. That's kind of their character. But Stein at his best character, God, my hair's so wet. Sorry, looks like shit. Sorry, Stein. Digression. Stein at his best is, you know, he writes very realistic protagonist characters. He writes kids that feel real, kids that feel like, you know, feel like kids you can know if you're a kid reading those. You know, it's really good characters like Evan and Andy from Monster Blood, or the two kids from Night in Terror Tower, or the two kids from The Headless Ghost feel pretty authentic. I'm scanning my Goosebumps books. The kids from The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight were really realistic. Hannah from The Ghost Next Door is very realistic. You know, so he's capable of coming up with characters that are realistic and stories that are enjoyable, even if they're not plausible, or even if they are campy and goofy. Hell, Welcome to Camp Nightmare was literally campy, and it was great, and I enjoyed it. Monster Blood is like a B movie, and it's fantastic. But this one, and I don't mind the premise. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind if this is about kids finding a secret room with a vampire in it. That's fine. That's par for the course with Goosebumps. I would expect nothing less. It's just when he has these half-baked ideas that he hasn't fully formulated into a cohesive plot, and kind of just grasps at straws and pulls out like, oh, well, then this, and this happens. It lessens the enjoyment out of it, and makes certain ones like this, or Bad Hair Day, or Legend of the Lost Legend, or Deep Trouble, you know, they lessen this, and I don't enjoy them as much, and I know he can do better, and that's what kind of pisses me off. And thankfully, you know, he has shown his skill in other books in this series. Now, I may be overthinking this a little bit. This one, to my knowledge, and it's been a while since I've read this one. I've actually watched the TV episode of this much more recently than I've read this book. I I may be overthinking it, and it may be more meant to be kind of silly. Maybe it's one of the more comical ones. That's possible. It just, even in the comedic ones, though, I feel like he still has to try, and he does. You know, that's just my 2 cents, though. Don't care for this one. If you're reading the books, I'd skip it. Just watch the Goosebumps episode that this one's based on, and you'll kind of get it. So that's all I have to say about that one. Sorry all the lengthy digressions and rants, but I know going through these makes me realize that, you know, at his best, Stein's very entertaining. He's a very likable writer and writes very interesting stories. And I like the cheesiness of them. They're great. You know, Stein has his flaws, but I will genuinely defend his strengths as a writer. And I defy anyone to try to come at me saying, like, what about this, this, and this? I'm like, yeah, he does have his flaws. He does have his faults as a writer. You know, he does write clumsy characters. He does write some really absurdly silly plots, even when he's trying not to. He writes very one-dimensional characters at times. He structures his books to basically have jump scares, for lack of a better term. He definitely designs his chapters to be kind of set up and laying payoffs at the beginning of next chapters. I get all that, and that's part of the fun, though. Like, I enjoy those things just as much as I like the admirable, good qualities of his writing that I talked about a minute ago. So, that's kind of just, you know, this episode turned more into like a rant about Stein, and it is. But this book honestly just didn't give me much to work with. And so that's kind of what I have to say about it. So, Vampire Breath, not so much. One before, Jack-o'-lanterns, yes. So that's kind of my opinion on those two. Take it for what you want. And that's all I got to say about it. So I'll try to have another Goosebumps video up soon. Thanks guys for watching. You guys are cool. Fantastic audience. And very lucky that you guys care about what I have to say. So, till then, I will catch you guys later.